Alright guys, today we are in a 1993 Volkswagen Corrado. Alright, so some cool things about the interior first off is, well, the position of the shifter is very nice, and other than your basic gauges, you got a couple of other, cool little unique things. You got your voltage meter, you've got your oil pressure gauge, you got your brake and ABS light here, check engine light here, you've got your defroster and all these optional extra buttons that you could have gotten, with a higher package. Now, being that the year that this is, they had just recently stopped making it a 1.8 liter supercharged engine, and it became their VR6, which made about, I want to say, 170 horsepower. And this one is not stock. It's got I want to say header back exhaust, and it is chipped, so he believes it's making about maybe 180-ish with age. Could have lost a few ponies as well, and then massive gain. So we're going to say 170 to 180 horsepower. It's very cool in here. I mean, you got your basic, doors. This was an earlier age, so it's basically just a flat door card. The window switches are over here, and they're a little lower, just how BMW would have them, by the shifter. But it's, for your left hand, easy to reach, and you just won't mistake it. It does have power side mirrors, which is pretty cool as well. And you've got leather inserts in here in the door, which are pretty, nice and soft, yet stable. And it's pretty nice to see, a Volkswagen with some nice leather, other than, cheap hard plastics. You got some hardish, plastic with a little bit of vinyl, but nothing, nothing too cheap. And the rear seats as well. I mean, there's not a lot of leg room, but they are kind of bucketed. You've got this center separator here. It is only 2 seats, not 3, and it really gives your passengers in the back a decent amount of support. Another cool thing about this car is the steering wheel. Not a huge fan of the shape, but I am a huge fan of people who make unique things, and this steering wheel is quite different than the rest of them. It really differentiates your 2 different notches here for when you're driving comfortable and you want to get a little more aggressive, you're grabbing it. And it's just different, I mean, this is the time before airbags were, basically mandatory in every car. So no airbags in here, you just get your nice design that they wanted. And in here we've got our, little spoiler button. Cool thing about this, it is a power spoiler. It's supposed to go up at 45 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure it still goes up 45 miles an hour. We'll find out on this road test. So now, key, your standard, just old-fashioned key. Little Volkswagen on there. So you throw it on in there, pop that clutch in, and it roars to life. So starting up in the Corrado, with its age, you get issues, the handbrake doesn't work, and some other things with the car is, it is kind of, leaking through the head gasket, so you're getting a little bit of overheating every now and then, but nothing he can't handle. So still keeping a great car like this on the road. From the inside, the voltage meter is working, and so is the oil pressure, so that's pretty good. This car's only done 165,000 miles, just about 164.5, and surprisingly, it's aged. It could use a little wash, and but it's aged fairly well. No too crazy of dings. Now, another thing about this is it does not have the greatest coilovers on it. It is some cheaper brand coilovers, and they are really old, so this car vibrates quite a bit, and it can get quite annoying, but I mean, that low life, right? So as we're up here in the mountain roads trying to get some fun going, this car handles surprisingly well. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, we've got some hardcore vibrating going on, especially some change that's in here. But it's still a pretty comfortable ride. These seats are very, very comfortable, and they hold me perfectly. Even me, I'm a bigger dude, and it's like perfect for my body type. So thank you, Volkswagen, for thinking of me in the, for the future. that it is making a decent amount of horsepower, and if we step on it, you know, we can have some fun on these roads. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun car. These little windy roads, when you're starting to gas it, it handles really nice, surprisingly. You know, this car was, you know, basically based off of Mark III, I want to say, Golf. I think it's the A3 platform. You know, the older Scirocco's and Corrados were, I think, were based off the Mark II Golf GTI. So I think this had a bit better suspension and brakes, and you'd probably, you know, feel the difference. I've yet to drive a Mark II or Mark III, so this exhaust is very loud. When I first saw him with the car, it was very, very quiet, and now it is very, very loud. You really get to hear in that you punch it, you really, really hear it wind in. Oh man, this car's pretty fun, no lie. Wow. Now, they didn't make this car for long, unfortunately, especially this VR6 version, only like about 2 or 3 years. And, you know, it was discontinued after that. Now, they brought it back recently in its original Scirocco name, and I think it's a really, really handsome looking car. And I like Golfs, but if I had one, I would definitely want to customize it, make it a little wider, and that's basically what a Scirocco is. And I really like the way that car looks, and I really like the way this car looks. Honestly, it's a better looking Golf with more horsepower, because I think the VR6 is what came standard for this car. So it's like a legit sport out version, not just a turbo little inhaler strapped onto a, you know, everyday commuter car. Your driving position, you really like are hunkered down over the road. You really feel like you're in control of what's going on, and the ride is pretty smooth, even with these, you know, coilovers that have gone a little bad. Some of the things I don't like is well, the visibility isn't all that great, especially for an older car. You'd think, you know, hey, no need for crazy reinforcement, but yet it's just not the best. You know, you got a hatchback, and you'd think, hey, lots of visibility. Nope, that is not always the case. And the turning radius in here isn't very bad at all. I mean, it's a pretty small little car. God, this car's freaking fun. Alright, so a quick breakdown of this 1993 Volkswagen Corrado. It is powered by their VR6, which is making about 180 wheel horsepower. It is a very stylish and handsome looking little car, and it's pretty rare to see on the road, so if you can find yourself one, you know, you should definitely bag it before someone else does. It's definitely a classic waiting to happen. The driving position for this car is very, very great, very comfortable, and makes you feel in control of the car. It's very driver intuitive, especially for an early 90s mid-range sports car. Now, the seats in this car are very comfortable and very supportive for 90s sports cars as well. I've had plenty, and those seats are by far the best stock seats you can get. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, practicality for this car, I would have to say is most likely about a 6. It is a hatchback, and you get some decent room for getting your groceries for your weekly shop. And other than the back seats not being very roomy, you can still squeeze 2 people back there in a pinch. Alright, now I want to give a quick thank you to my friend Anthony for letting me borrow his Corrado to do this fun review. And thank you guys for listening. I'll talk to you guys later.